Something tells me that a lot of these different conversations that's going on is propagated by the mass media to continuously try to provoke a race war between so-called black people and so-called white people. Now, it's very interesting. I was viewing this female comedian the other day, in which she was sitting up there saying that they know that there is some type of race war that's brewing between black and white people in America. And there has even been, on different occasions, two famous black people, black men that is, that have come forward and say, yeah, there's things are coming to the head with white people, especially white people will uphold the Second Amendment and also about the right to bear arms, and things is going to come to a head where it's going to be an all-out brawl and all-out war. How to call it, I have no idea. But today we're going to be talking about this hashtag black fatigue and where I stand on the issue. Now, you have a lot of YouTube content creators who have come forward and made their whole entire speech, monologues, diatribes, whatever you want to call it, about what they feel about their fellow people. So, with this thing called hashtag black fatigue, it's mainly a whole point of white people calling out black people on their shit and basically saying that we're tired of black people's shit. But newsflash, black people are tired of black people's shit. And the funny thing about it is, I've been seeing how much this has happened over the last couple of years, ever since about maybe 2019, before the pandemic happened. And while the pandemic was happening, and when we slowly got out of it, probably around 2023, 2024, is when a lot of these conversations started to come out, and you started to have one of those things where there was the point the finger type of narrative, and black people that sit up there and say, see, this is a reason I don't want to be associated with you niggas. There's lack of a better term. So, in my opinion, I am glad these things are happening. And I'm going to talk about how this ties into my thesis and what I'm going to pull later in why I think it's such a symbolic reason why this is happening in 2025 and how it connects. So, we're going to watch this first video of this young brother that's going to talk about black fatigue. Pete.
Why is racism coming back? More buzzwords to justify it. The newest one is black fatigue. Before that, it was DEI. You understand there's never anything good enough for these races, right? Let's explain what black fatigue actually
Now, before he explains what black fatigue is, I don't understand how this man can sit up there and say, why is racism coming back? Racism has always been here. It's always been something that so-called white people or other nationalities have been able to say about black people. And there has been things that so-called black people have said about white people. So why do we sit here and live under a rock as if these conversations have not been had, as if these content creators have not been saying things about black people? Astonishing.
actually is. Black Fatigue is actually a book on how racism erodes the mind, body, and spirit and explores systemic racism and its effect on black people. These racists aren't even smart enough to know the definitions of the words they're using, such as DEI. Why are we giving them any attention? And why are they increasing in number? Most people that are racist have zero black friends, have never interacted with a black person in their life, but they're somehow racist still. Because they're chronically online. You chronically online people need to get a life. Yeah, you're chronically online. No wonder you're so scared and angry at everything all the time, and you're looking for an outlet, and for some reason that expression comes to making up some new crazy buzzword to be obsessed with a group of people that have no idea who you are and have never thought about you, but your entire thought process is on them. We're actually talking about race in 2025 and justifying 5-year-olds getting called slurs with autism. What? And I go outside in real life and none of y'all are outside. They're chronically online. But go ahead, keep dropping your videos. We're gonna find out who you are. We will. We're gonna find out who you are. Please, please make more videos. That's the
And I mean, it doesn't really mean anything. I mean, those people are still going to say racist shit about black people. I don't know why it means anything if they're chronically online or they're not outside. My thing about it is racism or racist people come in all forms of life. So this brother, I understand that pretty much he's a little bit in his fifis when he's having this conversation, but there has been races that are indeed have black friends, that do have black friends, excuse me. And therefore, you never understand it because it's such a hypocritical thing where you have someone who says, yeah, I have black friends, but I'm tired of N words this and N words that and da 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 da, and they're openly racist. So to have this conversation and say that there's one particular type of racist who's nothing more but an internet troll and say that they don't get outside, I think is pretty much a mishap thing to say. But we're going to move on to this video that I wanted to review that now I have the time and chance to take a look at it about this white woman who has said some racist things to a 5-year-old black kid. And I'm giving my opinion on that. Let's check it out.
Do you call him a child? Did you call the child the word? It is my own business. You call him a okay, why don't you have the balls to say it right now again? Okay. Alright, that's what you say.
She was going to deny it and walk away. When there was a video and she saw that I was recording, she doubled down and even tripled down now.
And my thing is this to that whole entire video. This this funny thing about this white woman who sat there and said that to an autistic 5-year-old black kid, if that's to be the case. Again, people, why is any of this new? You have definitely had random white women, white men, moreover, who have said things to black kids and black men and black women alike. I mean, shit. I've been in plenty of situations where I've been minding my own business and a white person calls me the N-word for no reason. An Asian person who called me a racist term for no reason. And what do? I just move away and mind my own business. Sometimes the best motive in situations is to ignore and just don't pay it any attention. Now, I'm not saying that the parent of that 5-year-old black kid should have never said anything. I definitely think that the black kid, whoever the parent is of that 5-year-old child, should have stepped up and said, why are you calling my child the N-word? Like, what is your problem? You understand what I'm saying? Like, definitely say something about the things that's going on and things that you see. It's very necessary. But at the same time, of course, when people don't like things, the immature route to do is to take it to online and put out death threats and then raise these funds. I don't even understand what funds was needed off of a simple word that was said to a 5-year-old child. Now let's move on to one more video. We're going to talk about this, but I'm going to get to the nitty gritty on what is it that I feel about black fatigue at the heart. Let's check it out.
Black fatigue is a thing. Newsflash. White people don't want to live around ratchet black people, and black people don't want to live around ratchet black people. I mean, it's nothing like going to the Walmart on a Sunday morning, and then you see the bonnet crew walk in.
That's a fact. And then after that, so many people online, especially black people, will say, well, you got white women that wear bonnets and da 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 da. We're going to get into that conversation, Shu. Let's check it out.
Loud, obnoxious, the kids are everywhere, in every aisle, unattended, and that's anywhere you go. No matter what. They're highly emotional, highly sensitive. You can't say nothing. You can't even smile and hold the door for them because they'll look at you like you're crazy. And always the victim of something. Either you stepped on a shoe, you looked at them wrong, you told them good morning. They're never happy, they're never satisfied. And you wonder why normal, good black people move out of the hood as soon as they start getting successful. I was one of those black people that said, man, if I made some money, I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna buy up this, buy up that. I'm gonna support the community. As soon as I got my money, I got the fuck up out of there because they don't know how to appreciate good shit.
It's not about the point that they don't appreciate good shit. It's the fact of the matter when you have so-called black people in particular that's in a concentrated area, and not just saying this is black people, this can go for any race, but I'm focusing on black people right now. When you have them in a concentrated area where it's all about the crabs in a buckle, crabs in a barrel mentality, and also the whole entire thing of how they need to be on survival mode 24/7 with no idea of how to prosper themselves out of the situation, of course, it starts to become that whole entire topic of stagnancy. And this is what they thrive on. So the thing about it is why so-called black people move out the hood is because they're not made to be in that environment. You're not made to stay in an environment where you're staying complacent with the conditions that you are in and depending on the government or depending on all these different things where you don't inspire yourself to move up. With that being said, is there anything that can come good out the hood? Possibly, but the cautious effort to move out the hood, and I'm not saying you have to automatically move to a white town, is because you're looking for advancement in your life. Staying in the hood just means that you're staying in the hood. I mean, yes, you can be a community leader, a community activist, an advocate for change in the community and stuff like that. But too many times, and understanding this on a personal level, when it comes to living in the hood, usually more times than not, people that are recipients of living in the hood don't do shit until something happens. Famously, in New York City or places around the country, when it starts to become these hoods that start to have all these problems, usually black people want to do something or people want to do something until it gets gentrified. Just my opinion.
And my suburban kids don't need to be dealing with that bullshit. Crab in a barrel mentality. Never take accountability for nothing. So yeah, black fatigue is a thing. And I'll tell you, a lot of people are fucking tired. They're tired of dealing with these kind of people on a daily basis. I mean, I get anxiety when I walk inside of a mall nowadays. I mean, because you got these YNs running around and they don't respect nothing. So I don't care what anybody says. White America is tired of you, and we are too.
And that's that brother's opinion. This is my whole entire thought process about hashtag black fatigue. I'm not going to necessarily say it on the ends of people being scared, fellow black men being scared of other black men of going inside of a mall and, because of their behavior and this, that, and third. This is what it really gets down to about black fatigue. The problem is you have a good amount of so-called black people who still live and thrive on this idea of PTSD that happened from slavery hundreds and hundreds of years ago. No one is saying that so-called black people should forget about slavery, how they were treated in slavery, how their forefathers was treated in slavery. The problem starts to become in this country where you have to make an argument out of every single detail that happens. Like certain things that I remember certain people going online about, which I thought was complete nonsense. Like Jasmine Crockett versus the so-called white woman, I forgot her name at the moment, that had a little bit of a hissy match during a council meeting. And my whole entire thing was they made it so to say that that white woman was being racist towards Jasmine Crockett. And the whole entire thing was it was just a misunderstanding and words taken out of context. And you have two hot-headed level women that are very opinionated. There has been other situations where they tried to pour in this whole entire thing of, oh, that was racist, when really it wasn't. This whole entire thing that might have happened with situations like Black Lives Matter. People calling out Black Lives Matter for doing stupid shit and sit up there lying and sit up there doing things that have no necessary point of doing it. Black fatigue is more than just, the ratchet behavior of black people and, things that happen every day, like, black people in the hood or this and third. It's also the representation that black people put on themselves, the stuff that we as black people don't want to be represented as. Yes, we can go over the whole entire thing of black people in the media. A lot of people slandering shows on networks like Zeus Network of a black man who makes it his business to negatively portray black people on national networks and show ratchet ass black women fighting with ratchet ass black women, showing ratchet ass black men fighting with ratchet ass black men. Yes, we can talk about numerous clips of dumbass young teenagers, whether they're so-called black men or so-called black women in stores doing stupid shit. Such as that happened the other week of them twerking to a Lululemon song. But besides that, more so over, even we're going to go off the table of saying about the so-called ratchet behavior of our people. We also have to talk about how many times they get on television and make themselves look stupid. About how many times you'll sit up there and watch these networks about CNN and the MSNBC and all these networks out here where you have these black people who talk on the political front and try to make everything a black known issue. Or even way back, I'll take it back to this, where they chastise black people for not wanting to vote for Kamala Harris. I know the issue is old, but this is one of the prevalent things that I started to see black people for who they are. Because anytime you go against the grain of what black people are saying, you are revered as a COON, Uncle Tom, and all these terms that was used back in the day to refer to black people who think differently or was trying to side with white people back then. And this is because the certain mindsets of so-called black people stay complacent. And so with that, you start to have black people that says, I don't mind being different from everybody else. I don't mind being a free thinker and not thinking just like y'all. I have no problem thinking that way. Now, of course, there will be people who overdo it and start to have the personality traits of the famous show The Boondocks character, Uncle Ruckus. That's without say. But at the same time, this idea about black fatigue is mainly happening because of the mirror effect. Let me look at myself at the mirror and look at what I'm doing wrong or what is it that I'm doing right. I don't think it's just based off the fact of matter of white people saying, because white people have been saying and doing and having the same thought process about black people for years. It doesn't change anything. I think it's more so what comes to the head, the reactions black people are daring to give to other black people, which I find to be okay. So, last thing that I'm going to talk about in this video is why I believe we can tie this into Year of the Snake of 2025. And let me just read this to you. In the Chinese zodiac, 2025 is the year of the snake, specifically the year of the wood snake. The snake symbolizes wisdom, intuition, transformation, and renewal. It is also associated with shedding old patterns and making way for new beginnings, much like a snake shedding its skin. The wood element adds qualities of growth, creativity, and flexibility, making 2025 a time for personal and collective transformation. And before comes transformation comes confrontation, which is the reason a lot of these issues are starting to become more profound as we move into the latter of the year in 2025. That's all I'm saying. Because more so what comes to the head is being able to check each other in order to see if we move differently or if we stay the same. So my thesis at the end of the day, when it comes to the year of the snake and why this ties into black fatigue, is more so the voices of black people who are not afraid to say, yes, I'm black, but I'm not trying to side with white people. You do fucked up shit and stupid shit too. And this is coming from a fellow black person. And not being afraid to say, I don't mind being a free thinker. I don't mind being Uncle Tom. I don't mind being a COON because this is how I truly feel of y'all. And I am sick and tired of you niggas, for lack of a better term. But if you agree or you disagree, let me know what you think in the comment section. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Peace.